Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay back here again for another video on Real Sports Talk. And today I want to talk about Jamal Adams asking for a trade from the New York Jets. So basically, everybody knows Jamal Adams and the Jets have been on a streaky kind of a road ever since the trade deadline from last year. You know, basically, the Jets kind of shot them around, and Jamal Adams didn't appreciate it. He's such a good player, and he is the best player on that team, and he felt disrespected because he feels like other teams with a player like him wouldn't have took that call, which I can understand, and he has been upset since. Also, they have not paid him the money that he wants right now because he doesn't want to wait an extra year to get his money. He wants his money now, and the Jets rather wait until his contract is up. That's another reason why he wants to trade. He's fed up, and he finally wants his trade out of New York. So I've been looking at some of the teams that want him, but today I want to talk about the team that everybody has been talking about, my Dallas Cowboys. Now, we all know that Dallas Cowboys have had their fair nuisance of good but not great safeties, or average but not above average safety. Safety that you don't cry about having on the field, but you ain't in love with them being on the field. They haven't had that ball hawking safety. They haven't had that game changing safety that can kind of help them out on the back end. We've seen games in the playoffs where the Cowboys' lack of a great safety has hurt them. You look back at that Rams game where Jeff Heath can't make the right tackle on Jared Goff, and then Jared Goff run for the first down because he had a bad angle. You look at, even the Seahawks game that they won, they gave up an easy late touchdown in the end. You look at the Green Bay game where they gave up 21 points, I believe, to 0, to start off the game. So the Cowboys could really use a great player in that back end or even in the front end at the safety position to help them out and kind of elevate their defense, considering the fact that the defense does have a lot of holes in it with a lot of uncertainty. So my thing is, should the Cowboys trade for Jamal Adams? Now, obviously, I didn't love what the Jets wanted on the deadline. You talking about a first-round pick in one of the Cowboys' core linemen in Tyron Smith or Zach Martin. That's just unrealistic. You know what I mean? If you would have traded that, that's Zach Martin gone and CeeDee Lamb. Like, that just would have been a nightmare for Cowboys fans to see how that would have went. So I wouldn't have wanted that at all. But now you have a situation where you can get a first and a third. You can trade. All you need to trade is a first and a third round pick, or maybe a first, third, and a fifth round pick to acquire Jamal Adams. And it has been reported that Jamal Adams might take a smaller payday if he went to a team like Dallas, where he is from. So I think that it will be a perfect move for Dallas to make it and just execute the move. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, but the draft capital, but all these picks, you're trading away all these picks. And I do understand it. But let's be real. You're not trying to be a mid-level team this year. So do you really care about first, third, and fifth when you can get a guy like Jamal Adams that can make your defense that much better? I understand that you look at last year's draft, and some people may say, well, look at the picks we got at first, third, and fifth. Do you really want to pass them on that if that happens to happen this year? I don't think it will, because all those picks came at around the mid-level of the draft, and I think the Cowboys, if they get a guy like Jamal Adams, are most definitely going to be drafted towards the lower end of the draft. Where, not to say you won't still be able to get good players, but at the same time, you're not really going to be caring too much about the guy that you get, because you're going to be in a position where you're going to be drafting so low in those times that a guy like Jamal Adams for a first, third, and a fifth doesn't really matter too much about that, because it's a simple fact that Jamal Adams is such a great player. You're talking about a guy who is considered a general on defense, and a lot of people don't have that to their name. A lot of people can't say that they're a leader of a defense. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that you're getting with Jamal Adams. You have a defense right now who, especially in the back end, does not really have an identity and does not really have great players. You have a lot of good players that can be great with the right coaching, but you don't have any great players. You put Jamal Adams back there, you immediately have a better backfield than you had yesterday, and I think it's 2 times better than it was yesterday, and I feel like it helps your defense out tremendously, because not only does a guy like Jamal Adams can come down and play like a third linebacker for you sometimes and a ball safety, he can also sometimes go in the back end and guard tight ends, some receivers, and he can be a ball hawk in the field, because he's done it in New York all his years. So for me personally, I feel like, why not go get him? You know what I mean? I understand you tripping over your first pick. I understand you tripping over your third pick. I understand you tripping over your fifth pick. But understand where you're at right now. You're in a situation right now where you have the coach who's won a Super Bowl and you have a Super Bowl talent team around you right now. Why not go get that extra player? And why not take less money and not allow teams like the Ravens or the Texans or any contending team to take him from you and that hurt you later on? Take him, get better at the safety position, and then now you have a better chance to win not one but two Super Bowls while he's there, because you're gonna have him for probably about 3 or 4 more years. What's the problem with that? You know what I mean? So why not do it? Why not pull the trigger? I know you're scared of your draft capital, but we all talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and whether you're a fan or you're not a fan of the Cowboys, they draft really well. So if you ain't got a first, third, or fifth, you can still get a first, third, or fifth talent in that draft class because they have done it before. And they've done it literally last year. So why not? Why not go for it and why not try to win the Super Bowl? You're not selling your soul if you trade 1 year of picks. You're not gonna be in cap hell if you just sell, if you trade away some of your picks. That won't kill you. First off, he's not gonna take as much money as he will with the other team, which helps you out. 2, you have a lot of young players and players that are leaving out next year at the safety and cornerback position, which means that having a guy like him helps you with that decision to not try to overpay, to not try to pay everybody, and not to be in a terrible spot if Xavier Woods, Ha Clinton Dix, and maybe a Cheeto Bear Woods, they all do lead you in the free agency. Like we've seen with previous corners and safeties a couple years ago where the Cowboys had to go into the draft and draft corners and safeties. Now you're in a position where you don't even have to go into the draft and do that because you have an elite safety. And you feel way better about the corners that you bring in. You'll feel way better about the safety that you put alongside of him, because not only do you have a great safety, you have a general of the field that can make players around him better and can allow your defense to play better and play faster and play more strong and destructive, because that's the mentality that he has as a leader of men. So if I'm a Cowboys general manager, which I am not, I would go pull the plug. I will say, here's your first, here's your third, here's your fifth, because here's the thing. I want a great player to go along with my great team because I want a dynasty. And I know that, hey, after this year, I might lose 3 DBs. And I would love to have one great DB that I know I have under contract. That way, when I do lose them three DBs, I'm not over here rushing around panicking, going crazy because I don't have any. So why not do it? Pull the trigger and watch the wins come in. That's all I got to say about it, guys. Peace out.